Hello and welcome. Artificial intelligence is completely transforming our world. But with all that incredible power comes some pretty significant risk. So the big question is, how do we build AI that we can actually trust? Well, today, we're going to break down a really powerful tool designed to do exactly that, the NIST AI Risk Management Framework. I mean, think about it. AI promises incredible speed, efficiency, and insights. But here's the catch. When it's not managed well, it can go spectacularly wrong. We're talking about amplifying societal biases, creating massive security holes, or even making decisions that are just catastrophic. The stakes are incredibly high. So how do we keep that risk-reward scale in balance? That is where this comes in. The U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, you'll hear me call it NIST, created a framework that gives us a structured, repeatable process to help organizations build trustworthy AI. We're going to be using their guide to walk through it. Okay, so to start, we have to get a really clear picture of what we're up against. And look, understanding the specific dangers of AI isn't about fear-mongering. It's absolutely the essential first step to harnessing its power safely and effectively. Notice how all these risks are connected. An AI that leaks private information is, by definition, untrustworthy. An AI that amplifies bias could endanger people's livelihoods. These aren't just isolated problems. They're all symptoms of a system that just lacks a solid management process. All right, so we know the risks. The next logical question is, what's the goal? What does a good AI system actually look like? Before we can manage all the bad stuff, we have to define our target, and that target is what NIST calls trustworthy AI. And this brings us to our goal. If you look at the right side of our guide here, you can see the 7 key characteristics of a trustworthy AI. Think of these as the building blocks. If a system has these traits, then we can begin to place our confidence in it. The foundation really starts with the basics. Is the AI valid and reliable? I mean, if its output is just plain wrong or nonsensical, nothing else matters. It also has to be safe and secure from attackers, like people trying to intentionally feed it bad information, which is a practice known as data poisoning. And of course, it has to be fundamentally fair, making sure it doesn't create or perpetuate bias. Now, this is where we fight against the black box problem. An AI has to be explainable, meaning we can understand why it made a certain decision. And it needs to be interpretable, not just by a data scientist, but by an expert in the field, like a doctor who's looking at a medical diagnosis. It also must preserve our privacy and be transparent, allowing us to see how it actually works under the hood. So, we've defined the what, those 7 traits of trustworthy AI. Now we're getting into the how. How do we actually build systems that have those traits? Well, NIST gives us a clear 4-part process to make it happen. This process is really the heart of the framework. It starts with govern, which isn't just about rules, but about creating a culture where everyone, from the CEO on down, is thinking about risk. Then you map, which is kind of like drawing a blueprint. Who's using this AI? What are its goals? What could go wrong? Next, you measure. This is where you really get your hands dirty, testing for those risks with both hard data and expert judgment. And finally, you manage. Once you know the risks, you have to make a strategic choice. Do you fix it? Do you live with it? Or do you find a way to offload it? Now, it would be so easy to look at those 4 functions as just a simple checklist, right? Something you do once and then you're done. But that would be missing the most powerful part of this whole framework. It's not a straight line, it's a loop. Let's look at our main graphic one last time. You see the flow? What you learn from managing risks feeds right back into how you govern them the next time. The insights from mapping the context improve how you measure things in the future. The whole thing is designed as a virtuous cycle. With every single pass through this loop, the AI system gets safer, smarter, and more trustworthy. And that really is the bottom line. As AI gets embedded in every single aspect of our lives, from healthcare to finance, our ability to trust it becomes completely non-negotiable. This framework isn't just some technical document. It's a blueprint for building that trust. So that's the crucial question this framework leaves us with. And it's not some abstract problem for someone else to solve. For anyone building or deploying AI, the task of building trust is now part of the job. Thanks for watching. Of course, mastering risk is a huge piece of the puzzle, but it's still just one part of a much larger picture. Building successful AI products requires a deep understanding of everything from machine learning models and generative AI to product strategy, design, and launch. It's a complex and really exciting field to be navigating. So if you're looking to go deeper on topics like agentic AI, digital transformation, and product leadership, The AI Product Management Playbook is a fantastic resource. You can subscribe directly on LinkedIn to get the latest strategies and insights for building the next generation of AI.